Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Green, and this is my little speed talk of audio middleware and why you should use it. I've been in the industry since about 2015, with Abzu being my first title, and that was released in UE4 and Wise, and primarily my experience is going to be in Unreal Engine 4 and Wise, but I'll be talking about Fmod primarily here. Why middleware? Middleware helps bridge the gaps between designers and programmers. It gives a designer a much more powerful tool than creating stuff from scratch in Unity or UE4. Um, yeah. Some of the options that you can work with are Wise, Fmod, and Fabric. Now, Fabric is a Unity exclusive middleware tool. I don't have a lot of experience with it, so I'll be talking primarily about Fmod because Wise, while powerful, is pretty expensive for the average person, and Fmod is a little more user friendly when you're first starting off with these kinds of things. Both are extremely powerful. My experience is just with Wise. So out of the box, with any one of these, you're going to be getting music systems like beat syncing, perfect loops, sound effect randomizations, float value controls, pitch variation, volume variation, and so forth and so on, including like profiling tools. A lot of this I'll be showing in the next few minutes in like a little speed kind of tutorial thing, but and when I say bridging the gap, what that primarily means is that I can create simple events in Fmod which can translate into pretty complex things over in the editor. Meaning one sound effect or one event can create a loop while also play like a stop event to that loop and maybe even begin into a secondary loop. All within a single event that just gets controlled through a float parameter or something of that nature. It also means that as a designer, I don't even need access to the editor some of the time. In fact, one project I'm helping out with, I only have access to the Fmod project, and I'm sent Steam builds every now and then. I connect my Fmod project to the Steam build, and I just create sound effects and in real time change those sound effects to the already built package. But yeah, that also allows for easy collaboration. It's just a lot easier for me to just work in the one tool that I've mastered over the course of 5 years and be able to use that in this case, Unity, whereas as I said, my experience is in Unreal Engine 4. So Fabric, as I was saying, is kind of a Unity exclusive. It's kind of like Wise Light. I'm just not the most adept to it, so I don't want to, go into it without knowing what all I'm talking about. Wise and Fmod are both able to be implemented into just about any game engine, from CryEngine to Unity to Fmod, to Unreal Engine 4. I believe even GameMaker takes both of these tools. Both are extremely powerful. I just personally, from using Wise more often, feel I can do a lot more with Wise, so I listed as the most powerful. I'm sure there are Fmod users that can blow me out of the water with knowledge about it and what it can accomplish. Fmod recently has become a verified Unity developer partner, meaning it's just a lot easier to implement into Unity. It's a lot nicer, and I think Fmod is a little bit more obtainable for indies. They allow for a free title using it per year, as long as your budget is under 100K. Wise, I think they allow for a free game if you don't use more than 200 sound assets, which it can add up pretty quickly. But, for further learning after I'm done here, Wise allows for 2 sample projects in their launcher. You can download the Limbo project back when it released in 2012 by Playdead, and you can change sound effects in real time for that. They also let you download something called the Wise Adventure game, which is another kind of working game that you can add in and adjust sound effects to in real time, just to give you an idea of like what all you can work with. Fmod, on the other hand, allows you to download the Celeste like game or demo level, and you can adjust all of the sound effects in real time with it as well. Just good ways to get your feet wet with existing projects. So with that, I'm going to get into what Fmod can do for you. Alrighty, so let's get into what Fmod can do for you as soon as you open it. So I've got it right here, and let's say that you have your player character's jump sound effects. Maybe you've got 5 of them or something, and you want them to play at random. So I've got my jump sound effects right here, and I'm going to take them and plop them right into Fmod in my events browser here. Now, these are going to be a 3D event, which means that they're going to be playing on a character in the world, as opposed to 2D, which would typically be like music or ambience or something of that nature. And I'm going to be creating a new event with multiple instruments, meaning it's going to be one event that plays multiple sound effects. So let's create that. And now I have my one event called PC Jump, player character jump, and all of its sound effects within this one multi-instrument. Now if I hit play, it should go through these randomly, as shown here with shuffle. So you can see it's highlighting the one it's playing whenever I hit the play button, which I'm going to be using spacebar from here on out just for ease. So there's my sound effects. Now let's say I want to randomly adjust the volume just at random. So I'm going to add modulation by right-clicking on the volume here, and I'm going to choose random. That's going to give me this little guy, and I'm going to adjust that. You can see it's showing me the range at which it's going to play. So full volume plus or minus 4 decibels. So a little bit of adjustment, but for the sake of it, and you get the idea. So back to -4, and maybe I also want to adjust the pitch. Right click on my pitch, add modulation, add random, and now random pitch, just like that. You kind of see the little green bar, kind of show me the range at which it's going to shift the pitch. So plus or minus 8. That's quite a bit, so let's pull it down a little bit. And yeah, there my jump sound effect now has a bunch of variation and everything else. Now I can also add in a bunch of other effects like, I don't know, reverb or gains or flangers or distortion or EQ even. I can pull down the high end. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to delete that. So there's my jump sound effect. Now I can, if I want to, maybe it's a double jump or some weird animation that just has multiple pieces. I can just double click this or right click on this and add new audio track as many times as I want to, but let's not do too many. And we'll say initial jump and maybe secondary jump. Now, of course, when I call this one event, it's going to do everything this timeline shows me. But just to give you an idea, copy paste, whoopsie, copy paste. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there it is. Way too far over there. And there we go. And now, let's bring the play bar back. And now my one event is going to be doing that. And I can keep adding on as many as I want to and color code things based off of what might make it easier for me in the future. So yeah, there's my jump sound effect. So let's get rid of this and let's show into the next kind of little thing that you can do. Actually, let's just get rid of all of this because I don't need it. Let's say player land. So got my land event, and maybe he lands on 2 intensity levels, soft and hard. I'm going to add a new parameter here and say, I don't know, float PC land, I don't know, intensity. Cool. Now all I'm going to do is go back to my sound effects and grab all of my hard lands and drag them into the project. And I'm going to take all of my soft lands and drag them into the project as well. Now, this is no longer the timeline editor, I should say. This is the timeline editor, which is very similar to what I was, well, it is what I was doing there. Now the land though, we're going to be messing with stuff in here, and I'm going to say that whenever the value is under 50, or 0.5, it'll play the soft land. Whenever it's over 50, it'll play the hard land. Easy as that. Now I just set this value in game, and it'll play the correct sound effect. I can take it a step further as well and add automation. In doing so, I can like reduce the volume down here and bring the volume up here, and now down here, very soft, a little louder. Maybe I want it a little bit more. There we go. And then if I go to hard all the way at the end, maybe it's a little too loud, so let's kind of break it right there. And I'll take this guy, slide it down, and maybe kind of adjust the curve a little bit. And now that's probably a little too much. And now it just kind of sounds like a soft land, but you get the idea. You can kind of adjust the volume. Now I can also do this with pitch too, of course, but I don't want to get too in depth with this right off the bat. And maybe I think I heard one land in here that I don't like. So let's preview these. No, it wasn't that one. I think it was number 2. Yeah, it's number 4 I don't like. So I can square click on that, delete it, and now it's no longer part of the events that are going to play. And once I want to work over in UE4 or Unity, I just want to take my events, drag and drop them over into my bank, which means that now when I hit my F7 key, it's going to generate my banks, and now I can use these over in UE4 or Unity. And that's all there is to it. Let's take one more little example and take an ambience track. I'm going to make a new event, 2D. I could just drag in the audio event. There's 2 different ways of doing this, but let's just say ambience, I don't know, background. This is not my typical naming convention, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take one of my sound effects, bring it in, and there it is. I'm using my Alt key, and I'm kind of zooming in and zooming out, but yeah. So this is my ambience. Cool. So I want to right click on this and say new loop region. And you get this big blue bar. And I can adjust this, of course, or I can even right click up here and add in a new loop region myself and manually set the duration, but it's a little more than I want to do right now. So now this bed will just kind of, or this background ambience will loop based off of the blue bar. Done. It doesn't sound like that great of a loop, but you get the idea. It's super easy to just kind of make your loop and play with it. You can adjust the little end here. Maybe this loop would sound better. Not really, but you know, I can play with it, get a good idea of it, figure it out. Of course, there are plenty of other things you can do, but these are just some basic examples. That's better. And I'm going to take this, pop it to my bank, and now it's ready to go. Save this, F7, make my banks, and I can pop over into the UE4 side and show how this would work over there. Okay, so here we are in UE4, and this is where things get really good. So I'm going to, and I'm sorry, but UE4 is where I have most of my experience as opposed to Unity. It's just what all of my games have been developed in for the most part. So I'm going to open up my, this is the first person default editor thing that just gives you out of the box. So open up my player script or blueprint, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to take the jump area. So let's just add onto that and type in play fmod event attached, and it attaches the event to a component. I'm going to choose my fmod component, which I added in right there. Just type in that, add a component, fmod, boom. So take that, apply it there, and now this sound effect, whatever I choose it to be, will be posted whenever I jump. Now, in between my cut here, I didn't do anything. I had already implemented Fmod into this project via just an installer that comes with Fmod. It's totally free, totally easy. I think Unity makes it even easier these days with it being a part of their engine or whatever they want to call it recently. But there's my PC jump as I made in my previous little bit of this. So play right there, go back to the game, and let's try jumping. There's my sound effect. Cool. And there's no shoot sound. So let's go back over here, and you have not heard my shoot sound yet, but for a good reason. So let's go to where the shoot is, which is right here, spawn projectile for the gun and everything. And same thing, play fmod event attached to the same component, like so. And we're going to choose my gun sound effect. Boom. And now when I jump in, it should play my gun sound effect. Cool. Now, here's the best part. So over here I've got Fmod, and you can see right there it's flashing green for live update. What that means is that I can adjust this right there, and adjust the sound in real time as I'm playing it. And let's say that I want to add a little bit more to it. So let's take, I don't know, a reload sound. And I'm going to take that reload sound and put it just behind it a little bit right there. And the sound effect in game now should sound like this. That's a little loud, so let's pull it back, move it in a little bit, and there we go. Now over here, updates it in real time as I'm playing the game. And you can do that with any sound effect that you want in the entire game, including music. So, and the jump was also a little quiet, so let's kind of boost that a little bit. Easy as that. So let's drop out of the game, go back to my script here, and this is where I'm not going to be able to do too much for you, but just to give you an idea, I would do set, I think it's parameter, yes, for Fmod audio. And now for the land sound, if I was going to be implementing that right now, I could set that name as my land sound was, float PC intensity, whatever the hell, yeah, it is. And I would set the float value based off of my landing intensity or whatever. And then after that, I would say play Fmod audio. And now, what this code structure would do is it would play the sound effect after setting the float value, which, as shown earlier, would play differently based off of what values you send into it. And that's all there is to it. I can take this a step further, though, and show that Fmod can also show some of its debugging tools. So let's go to the profiler, and that's going to give me a big screen, but I want to make this a little bit smaller. That didn't help. Take it like this, make it like that, start recording. Now you can see all my CPU performance and how expensive everything is. Get an idea of it, and let's jump in. And I just updated, and let's start recording again. And now you can actually see everything that just happened. So let's stop recording, drop out of this, go back to Fmod, and now I can actually scrub through it and kind of see where these sound effects triggered in the game, how loud they were at a given moment. Like I can kind of shuffle this around, and I can see pretty much everything that happened, including volume and CPU usage, what waveforms it played, and so forth. This is also exportable. I can go right to this and send it to anybody else and get their take on it. And that is Fmod integrated with UE4 with just a very basic little project. And that's all I've got. Yeah, stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands and don't touch your face.